Well, hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Calling here, down at the new bar, down in the basement. And you're just starting to get the bar figured out and set up a little bit, but having a good time doing that. So, but here we are. It's December 30th. It's one night before New Year's Eve. And I thought, why not have a bottle that's near the bottom? We're near the end of 2021. Why not have a bottle near the end of 2021 and just kind of, look to finish off this bottle, so to speak. So I don't think I've reviewed this one on the channel this year. This is the Jefferson's Ocean. Make sure there's not too much of a glare there for you folks. Jefferson Ocean Bourbon, and this is kind of an interesting bourbon for sure. It's a blend of straight bourbon whiskey, so it's a blend. Very small batch, it says. It's 45% alcohol. And it has a whole storyline here. It's got kind of a cool thing on the bottle here as well. It's got kind of a picture of the globe there. And what this does here is it's got a storyline where they put these on a ship, and they have it go to all sorts of different climates and different, the constant kind of, they put it on a ship for a certain amount of time, I think 6 months or a year or something. And so it's rolling and the whiskey's splashing around in the barrels, and it's going to all sorts of different climates. And so it just creates this whole kind of backstory to sort of how this whiskey is aged. And so, yeah, it talks a little bit about that here. Let's see if I can read it. It's really small. It's always fascinating to read the bridge data as it comes in from us. From the ships at sea. So they have sort of a whole kind of a, bridge data log here. Carrying Jefferson's Ocean on the voyage to 5 continents around the globe. Every journey is an adventure on its own right, but the conditions encountered are vastly different from one voyage to the next. So this is Ocean Voyage 17, it says, was smooth sailing from start to finish. Air temperature never dropped below freezing, and for the most of the trip hovered in the mid-80s. It was downright balmy compared to voyages in the past. With the exception of a rough water during these 3-day passages from Melbourne to, I really apologize, I can't, it's dark and small. It was a pleasure cruise for the most part. So cruising Pacific Rim is just what you would expect. A big circle around the edge of the Pacific Ocean. All the storms that occurred during the Voyage 17 formed and blew themselves out in the middle of the Pacific. Even the China Sea, notorious as the most active region for typhoons, was unusually quiet. This is not to say that isolated storms don't have far-reaching effects over time. Several months prior to Ocean Voyage 17, container ship bound for, anyways, it gets into it. What it's basically saying here, it was nice, kind of a nice calm trip on this particular, it says Voyage 17 ship's log, which is kind of cool. So it kind of has, all this detail about this particular voyage. So you kind of say, okay, this is this is on the boat, this is, it's doing its thing. And the thing they're saying for this one, it was a pretty calm trip. And kind of, so let's see, hey, it's enough talk. Let's see what this thing tastes like. So obviously blended bourbon, but you don't see as much blended bourbon nowadays. I find it, we usually haven't had too much blended bourbon before. A lot of more, bourbons that are made by their own, on their own right. But the blended side is a little bit different, at least for what I've tried. But it's got a really nice kind of dark look to it, doesn't it? Really cool label, bottle, really cool backstory. Let's see what it smells like. Guys, I hope you got to drown yourselves tonight. Heading into the New Year's season, so to speak. Enjoying ourselves. Yeah, so the nose is pretty, I'm getting kind of that classic bourbon brown sugar with a little bit of hint of honey. If you almost take, if you guys have ever done this, I like to do it with salmon, is you put brown sugar on top of the salmon, and then sprinkle honey on top. It's got a little bit of that going on, that kind of a topping. That's really what I'm getting. Slight hint of a little bit more bitterness to it too, like almost like if you were to put a little vinegar on top as well. Not in a bad way, in a good way. See what it tastes like. Oh, you know, a nice pop of hot pepper, spice. I'm almost getting a little bit of a kitchen cinnamon baking smell and taste to it, but also kind of a bit of a rich oakiness, kind of a wood oak, a little bit of almost a dry spice at the back end of the finish. It's really quite nice, actually. You know what? It's funny. I was just noticing tonight that you know, I tried a couple of bourbons earlier tonight, and they weren't quite catching me, and as they normally do. And I realized, you know what? I haven't been having that many bourbons lately. I've been doing a lot of scotches lately, to the point where I almost didn't realize that 80% of the time now I'm drinking scotch. Really enjoying the nuances of all sorts of different scotches. And I kind of went back to these bourbons tonight before this one, and I wasn't really kind of jamming on it. I was like, you know, I should. But you know what? I'm trying this one now. This is really, really quite nice. Try it again. Yeah, you know, I'm picking up sort of the dry kind of a really nice dry oaky pepper, mixed in with kind of that nice, you know, almost mixture of brown sugar and honey in there as well. But it's deep, it's dark, it's rich. I mean, it's not incredibly thick texture. But not thin either, kind of in the middle somewhere. But you know, the taste and the flavor I'm getting right now is deep and rich, in a really positive way. I'm really liking this quite a bit actually at the moment. Try one more sip. Yeah, again, on the smell, it just got that nice kind of sort of brown sugary. Seriously, you know what? The nose is nice, but the palate's even better. It's got a really nice mix between, like I said, sweet honey, brown sugar, but it's got a nice hot, drying spice that's really grounding and rich. You know, I gotta say, I'm really enjoying this, and it's funny. I gotta say, the bottle, as you see, it's near the end. We're near the end of 2021. We're near the end of this bottle. I probably opened this bottle up quite a while ago, several months at least, and you know, I gotta say, it never really spoke to me that much. I gotta be honest. But I'm I'm a little bit surprised by how good this tasting is going. I'm really enjoying this tasting right now, and I think this is the kind of this is a great bourbon to sort of say introduce to friends. It's got a really cool story to it. It's got a cool cool marketing, a cool bottle. And to kind of go with that in that kind of a setting, it's the kind of thing that's not going to be overly offensive to anybody in terms of like really harsh tastes or anything that's too over the top. It's a nice balanced, you know, example of what bourbon can offer, I think, and it's it's really nice, relaxing dram. You know, really nice. Anyways, folks, I hope you're enjoying some bourbon yourself tonight, or some scotch, like I said, or some rye or something. And I hope you have a great New Year's. And I just thought I'd kind of give a toast to 2021 and call in 2022, folks. Cheers. Let's have a sip together and have a little toast to the new year. wonderful. Wonderful, folks. Really appreciate you joining me. Maybe I'll have time to do a video tomorrow, on New Year's Eve. We will see. But anyways, folks, have a great night and talk to you again soon.